David worked in the city. Every morning he left home at 6. Every evening he came back at 8, sometimes later. He was tired, always tired. Work was hard. His boss wanted more. His clients wanted more. There was always another project, another deadline, another problem. When David came home, he would eat dinner quickly, check his emails, watch TV for an hour, then go to sleep. His wife, Maria, would sit next to him. She would try to talk. "How was your day?" she would ask. "Busy," David would say. "Very busy." "Do you want to talk about it?" "Not really. I'm tired." And that was it. The same words, every night, for years. Maria stopped asking. What was the point? They had been married for 15 years. They had a nice house. They had money. They had everything they needed. But somewhere they had lost something, something important, something that used to be there. They still lived in the same house. They still slept in the same bed, but they felt like strangers. David didn't notice, or maybe he noticed, but he was too busy to care. Work was more important. Work was urgent. The relationship could wait. "We're fine," he told himself. "We're just busy right now. Things will get better." But things didn't get better. They got worse. One Saturday morning, David woke up late. The house was quiet. Too quiet. He went downstairs. "Maria," he called. No answer. He looked in the kitchen. Not there. He looked in the living room. Not there. Then he looked out the window, and he saw her, in the backyard, on her knees in the dirt. David went outside. "What are you doing?" he asked. Maria looked up. She had dirt on her hands and her face. But she was smiling, really smiling. David couldn't remember the last time he saw her smile. "I'm starting a garden," she said. "A garden? Why?" Maria looked at him for a moment. Then she said quietly, "Because I needed something to grow." David didn't understand, but he was already thinking about work. He had his laptop at home, and he had emails to answer. He went back inside. Maria stayed in the garden. Over the next few weeks, Maria spent all her free time in her garden. She planted seeds. She watered them. She pulled weeds. She built small wooden borders around the flowers. David watched from the window sometimes. He didn't understand why she cared so much about plants. It seemed like a waste of time. The garden didn't make money. It didn't solve problems. What was the point? But he noticed something. Maria seemed different, lighter, happier. She sang while she worked. She talked to the plants. She smiled when tiny green shoots came up through the soil. One evening David came home from work. Maria was in the garden again. He stood at the door and watched her. She was on her knees next to a small rose bush. She was tying it carefully to a wooden stick. She worked slowly, gently, patiently. Something about the way she moved made David's heart hurt. When was the last time he had been that gentle with her, that patient, that careful? He couldn't remember. One Saturday, David woke up early. He went downstairs and looked out the window. Maria was already in the garden, but she wasn't working. She was just sitting there, looking at something. David went outside. "What's wrong?" he asked. Maria pointed to a rose bush. One of the roses was dying. Its flowers were brown. Its stem was bent. "I don't know what happened," Maria said softly. "I watered it. I fed it. I did everything right. But it's dying anyway." She looked so sad. "But a flower. Just a flower." David almost said, "It's just a plant. You can buy another one." But something stopped him. He looked at Maria's face. Really looked. And he saw tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know it's silly to cry about a plant, but I tried so hard. I really tried." And suddenly David understood. This wasn't about the rose. This was about them, their marriage. She had been trying, for years, trying to keep their relationship alive, trying to make it grow, trying to make it beautiful, but he had been too busy to notice, too busy to help, too busy to care. She had been taking care of their marriage alone, and slowly it had started dying, just like the rose. David sat down next to her. For the first time in months, he really looked at his wife. He saw the worry lines on her face, the sadness in her eyes, the loneliness. "Maria," he said quietly, "I'm sorry." She looked at him surprised. "I've been a terrible husband," he said. "I've been so focused on work that I forgot about us. I forgot about you." Maria's eyes filled with tears. "This garden," David said, "you didn't start it because you wanted flowers, right? You started it because you needed to feel like you could make something grow. Because nothing else in your life was growing. Not your happiness, not our marriage, nothing." Maria nodded, crying now. "I'm sorry," David said again. "I'm so sorry. But it's not too late, is it? We can fix this. We can make it grow again." He took her hands in his. They were dirty from the garden, rough from the work. "Beautiful. Teach me," he said. "Teach me how to garden. Teach me how to be patient. Teach me how to care for something and make it grow." The next morning, David didn't go to his computer. He went to the garden. Maria was already there. "Where do I start?" he asked. Maria smiled. "First, you prepare the soil. You make it soft and rich. That takes time." "How long?" "As long as it takes. You can't rush it. If the soil isn't ready, nothing will grow well." David nodded. He picked up a shovel and started digging. The work was hard. His back hurt. His hands got blisters. But he kept going, and Maria worked next to him. They didn't talk much, but they didn't need to. They were together, really together, for the first time in years. Days turned into weeks. David learned to plant seeds, to water them gently, to pull weeds without hurting the roots of the good plants, to wait patiently for growth. Sometimes Maria said one day, "You do everything right and the plant still doesn't grow. That's hard, but you can't give up. You have to keep trying. Try different things. Give it more time." David realized she wasn't just talking about plants. One evening they were watering the garden together. The sun was going down. Golden light filled the yard. David looked around at all the flowers they had grown. Roses, lilies, daisies, sunflowers, beautiful. But the most beautiful thing was Maria's face. She was glowing, happy, truly happy. "Thank you," David said. "For what?" "For not giving up on us, for waiting, for being patient with me." Maria smiled. "A good gardener never gives up on her garden. Even when things look dead, there might still be life under the ground, waiting for the right time to grow again." David pulled her close. "I love you," he said. "I forgot to say that for too long, but I do. I love you." "I love you too," Maria whispered. They stood there together, surrounded by the garden they had grown. Not just a garden of flowers, but a garden of love, of patience, of hope. Years later, people would visit David and Maria's house and love their beautiful garden. "How do you keep it so lovely?" they would ask. And David would smile and say, "We take care of it every day. We never forget about it. We give it time and attention and care. Because once you let a garden die, it's very hard to bring it back." He would look at Maria, and she would look at him. They would both understand what he was really talking about. A relationship is like a garden. It needs care every day. You can't plant it once and forget it. You can't just water it when you feel like it. You can't let the bad weeds grow and expect flowers to live. You have to take care of it every single day, even when you are tired, even when you are busy, even when it looks like nothing is growing. Because if you stop caring for your garden, it dies, and sometimes you can bring it back, but it takes much more work than if you had just taken care of it from the beginning. David learned that lesson almost too late, but he learned it, and he never forgot it again. Every morning, before he went to work, he spent 30 minutes in the garden with Maria, not working, just being there, together. Every evening when he came home, he didn't go straight to his computer. He went to the garden. They would walk through it together, looking at what had grown that day, what needed attention, what was blooming. And their marriage bloomed too. It grew stronger, deeper, more beautiful, because they took care of it every day together. That's the story, a simple story about a garden, but really it's a story about love, about attention, about never taking important things for granted. Your relationship needs care, your marriage needs attention, your love needs to be watered every day, not just when it's easy, not just when you feel like it, every day. Don't wait until the garden is dying. Don't wait until it's almost too late. Take care of your garden now, today, this moment. Thank you for listening. This is Akın Storyteller. Until next time, take care of your garden.